Hi, I'm Todd Kenrick with D&D Beyond. I'm the content director, and I do other things. I don't know. I host shows. Who knows, really, what's happening? I am here with part of the crew of Dice Camera Action, Chris Perkins, and my old friend Holly Conrad.
Yay.
And we're going to talk about that.
Great.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm Strix today.
That's right.
Yeah.
Your costume is, as always, amazing.
Holly's on vacation. Strix is down
Holly's
here
on vacation?
stealing trash from Ohio.
Oh.
So for those who don't know, Strix is one of the characters in DCA.
Yes.
And she is a tiefling sorcerer. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Divine soul sorcerer.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
because you want all those spells.
With a minor in trashomancy.
Exactly.
Trashomancer would be amazing.
Yeah.
I just want to see the golem that you would make.
Oh man, that'd be so cool. Animate object, but you just create like a bunch of trash.
Oh.
That's actually going to be something.
Yeah. Trash golem?
Yeah.
That'd be
I'm down.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could it be like help us fight things?
We'll see.
I would like an entire plane of just trash.
Let's create a plane of trash.
Where all the trash in the D&D multiverse just gets dumped.
A future episode of Dice Camera Action is going to be all about trash.
Well,
really
I'm excited.
Because they're in Waterdeep this
Yeah.
season. And
Oh.
There's so
Waterdeep's-
much trash.
There's so
Waterdeep's a
much
city,
trash.
but it's actually a very clean city for the most part.
so where does the trash go?
That's the question.
Yeah, but where
does it
do
go?
the bodies eventually start floating?
Well,
Yeah.
those are all important questions.
Yeah, I
and we
actually
have
wanna
to.
know.
I feel like I, in doing justice to the city of Waterdeep, have to answer this question.
So wait, it doesn't go to the city of the dead because that's
No.
bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually like a park cemetery.
Yeah. So where would the trash go?
Where indeed?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
This
it's
is
going to be a really gross answer.
Into her.
Like this sky,
I've solved all
this
the problems.
skyscraper-sized gelatinous cube in like a ravine.
Because you know that Waterdeep, being its size, has a ton of crap.
Oh, yeah. I mean, do they have plumbing?
Well,
They have a sewer system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
they're
do-
not just doing the whole privy out the window thing, right?
no.
They don't throw shit out the window
Okay,
anymore.
okay,
Yeah.
No,
okay.
it's-
They
Yeah.
did at one point.
It's
Well,
not
back
like
in the day.
Spokane.
Yeah.
Back when it was still like, not like Spokane.
Just water,
Yeah.
not
I'm going to
water.
hear about that.
Back in the day, before Waterdeep was Waterdeep and it was a smaller settlement, a warlord settlement called Nimor's Hold, they just throw crap out the window all
Okay,
the
so
time.
that's like the Middle Ages. We're
Yeah.
talking now.
Well,
like-
Waterdeep is like one of the cleanest cities in Faerun. It's got beautifully preserved
like
boulevards.
Canada.
That's how they
It's-
advertise
It's got
it.
a guild called
Yeah.
the Dung Sweepers Guild, who are basically charged with keeping the streets clear of
They would
refuse.
know where the trash is.
They would certainly know. And
Oh,
remember,
man.
we dealt
They're
with those
against us.
recently.
They're against us.
They locked you
They locked us in.
If
They're
they-
suspect.
if they were who they pretended to be.
That's true.
Yeah.
But we
They
have
were
to
dressed
investigate
like, yeah,
that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And-
did you have any questions?
I
Or you
know. I'm
just-
perfectly, I'm perfectly happy with our current dynamic.
So we always tie a season of DCA into the current story.
Right.
So the first season was back when we had Curse of Strahd, so
Right.
it was our Barovia season, which is kind of a hard start for a party of fledgling heroes who don't know each other very well.
Yeah.
But
That's what bonded us.
exactly, the
flames of
terror of
Barovia.
Barovia.
Yeah.
And then so they escaped that with their lives, and then they went on to Storm King's Thunder in season 2, and then Tomb of Annihilation in season 3, which was a hell of a thing. Mm-hmm. That was harsh.
It was harsh.
They were getting stomped through most of that, but season 4 is very different because they are back in civilization all of a sudden.
Right.
And
And none of them all are
many of them-
civilized.
Right. And
Hey.
many of them came from Waterdeep, so their ties are there, but we don't know anything about those ties.
Right.
So Waterdeep is really the season where thematically we're focusing on friendship and about living among people again.
Technically, we would all be from Waterdeep.
Technically.
Yeah.
Technically, I mean,
Everyone's-
because
Yes.
even though Paulson's from Barovia, I think he grew up in
He grew
Waterdeep.
up in Waterdeep, yeah.
Evelyn is from a village outside of Waterdeep.
But
she
was raised in the
was
temple
raised
in
in the
Waterdeep.
spire,
Yeah.
the spires of morning.
Yeah.
I just want to see a statue of Paulton in the middle of Waterdeep and have like that Jane moment from Firefly,
Oh my god!
Oh, yeah.
singing songs.
Oh my god! It's amazing. Yeah, I think. Yeah, and then Strix and Dieth lived in Waterdeep. Dieth grew up in Waterdeep.
That's right.
And Strix is really the only one who didn't really
No,
grow up there.
Right. Dieth found Strix picking through trash.
In Waterdeep, yeah.
In Waterdeep, yeah. That's how they first got to know each other.
Yep.
So there's
That's
a
how
lot.
Holly and I got to know each other.
Waterdeep is ripe for exploration and for these characters to sort of settle in and see if they can make lives for themselves. And so this is going to be a very different season from the others where there's not this pressure driving them to a destination.
Right, yeah, because this
they can just kind of hang out and kind of experience things unfold around them.
Can we really? Because so far, like the Xanathar has appeared. I don't know if
But they weren't going
out.
after you.
That's true.
They were going after somebody else that you just happened to be in the vicinity
That's
of.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This will be well, maybe less dark. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So now in Waterdeep Dragon Heist, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But as is customary in dice camera action, I take the sort of some of the threads or themes of the story, play with them, take a few pieces, tear them apart, and kind of rebuild them in a different way. So I'm not running the adventure as published.
Yeah, because that would be not great.
It would be,
Like,
it would
you
be
don't
a
wanna
big spoiler.
spoil the adventure,
Right.
but
I
also
don't mind
like,
tipping off themes, but I don't want people to feel like they can't run it for their players now because their players have watched it.
Yeah, and if anyone, I mean, I don't know, if anyone should break apart their own work, maybe it would be you to reconstruct something
Yeah,
new.
and I think it's an important lesson to DMs too, that just because it's in print doesn't mean you have to run it the way it's
You don't have
written.
to adhere. You don't have
Exactly.
to be
Tear it up.
slavishly
Do what
following
you
this.
do whatever's best for your group.
Right.
Yeah.
How have you guys affected each other? Like, you didn't know each other before Dice Camera Action. Has she changed you as a DM? have you been changed as a player? Because you never got to play Strix this long, I don't think.
No, I never. Strix was. I always played a tiefling sorcerer, but Strix was my. I guess like the distillation of every character I've played.
Yeah.
So I've always played a tiefling sorcerer, but she always changed in different dichotomies, and now this is. I guess that she's like my canon version of Strix,
Yeah.
of the character I always played.
But she's had to have changed because of Chris now.
Oh yeah, I mean I didn't
Everything
expect
Chris
her to.
has done to you.
All of the Barovia witch stuff, I didn't expect having such a big impact on her, but I loved it. Like I thought it was amazing. And you suggested Baba Yaga,
That's
and
right.
I was like
Yeah.
yes, because I knew about it from my Balkan folklore class in
Yes.
college.
So I relish the opportunity to kind of do a short. This is very much a shared storytelling group where they've taken ownership of their characters, but they've also embraced ideas or things that I've thrown their way or curveballs that I've introduced along the way.
Right.
And what's most important to me is that their characters go on a journey, not only together, but a journey of self, so that they are not the same people that you met in episode 1.
Right.
And that's very true. All the characters have had stuff that they've dealt with that have forced them to evolve and change how they interact with the rest of the world.
Yeah, and I think that's still happening.
Yeah.
And it's
I
going
think-
to keep happening.
Yeah, and I feel like, even though I didn't know any of them before we started playing that first episode, I feel like I've known them all now forever.
Right.
Simply because we have spent a lot of time together. We are approaching our 100th episode,
Yeah.
which is like 200 hours on stream with each other. And
It's a lot of hours.
Yeah.
and in the game, we're also kind of open to each other and each other's ideas, that I feel like I can do anything in this group and they'll find a way to make the best out of it and have fun doing it. And
Yeah. And I think too, like we are, like as players, we're all very like open and vulnerable with each other in the game
Yeah.
too. So we're not afraid to like experience these emotions as the characters
Right.
and get like really involved in it. And that, I don't know,
I
that's
think-
made us all really good friends.
yeah, I think one of the reasons why this show is so well liked by its fans is the characters are so vulnerable and
Yeah.
they're so flawed, and the players enjoy those vulnerabilities and flaws in each other and in their own characters so much. And I, as a DM, love that because I don't have to power game anything. I don't have to.
You just have to have something show up and we're like,
Oh my God, everything plan falls apart. It kind of the waffle crew is delightfully suboptimal, and it sort of reveals things about us, about our dealing with our own imperfections and our own insecurities. It's a very insecure crew, but this crew comes together and they accomplish shit, and they move on and they have fun.
and then 30 different things come after us
Then-
because they were for our
Well,
future
there are
selves, and now
consequences,
future selves
yes.
deal with us.
When you release a fire primordial from an iron flask
And don't put it back.
and don't put it back, that probably will come up later.
Much like life.
Oh, sorry.
Much like life.
Yeah.
Much
yeah,
like
that's
life.
important.
Yeah, so I love
Yes.
I love loose ends.
Yeah, loose
we have-
ends are the best.
We have a lot of them,
Oh,
so
yeah.
but I like tying them off too.
And that's one thing you can't always write into adventures are those loose ends. Is you have to be playing a campaign, and you keep track of the NPCs that have been wronged or have agendas.
Exactly.
And then it's so fun to bring them back maybe literally years later.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, we never dealt with
Right.
this.
Yes.
I mean, it took us almost a year to figure out the whole Vistani marriage thing.
Right.
About a year.
And then there are things like, they in season 1 they trapped Strahd von Zarovich, the vampire, in a doll.
Yeah.
And they carried that around for a while, and then they lost the doll.
Yep.
That doll is out there, and that's a wonderful treat for me as a DM.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
I can speculate for hours about where
Oh,
that doll's
who
been up
has
to.
that doll?
Is,
And on our last panel, he was like, yeah, I remember when you took Strahd out of Barovia, and I'm just like, yeah, that was a mistake. Yep, that was a big mistake.
I remember old school D&D when that was a very big deal getting Strahd out of Barovia. So the fact that he went via doll,
yeah.
it tickles
Yeah.
my heart.
And
Oops.
one of the great things about the show is we get to bring on guest stars,
Yeah.
which is always nice to shake things up and kind of play with the chemistry of the group a little bit.
Especially with like Danny Hartel has been like a really good addition.
Yeah, they've all been great. Sometimes,
No, tell me about the least good one.
so
Tell me about the worst guest.
no,
No.
there's no such thing.
Yeah, they're all great.
But often they come in and they're playing something that I've asked them to play.
Yeah.
An NPC from an adventure or something like that. Like when Matthew Lillard came in, he just picked up an NPC from the Tomb of Annihilation book that I wanted to inject into the story, and kind of left it up to him to kind of play it as he will. And it kind of took off, and he literally took off, and is still
On an
out there
airship.
somewhere on an airship.
She's still out there. There he goes.
And with Danny, she also just picked up an NPC from the book, and then she got killed off. But then, since Danny's such a wonderful person, I was just waiting for an
Twin
opportunity to bring her back with the tired cliche of a twin
I'm
sister.
a twin sister. And then we got so scared too. We were just like,
Yeah.
oh!
Right. So when they first saw her, they thought, oh, she must have survived somehow.
Yeah, no.
No, not so much.
She was her nicer twin
So
sister.
we try to bring them back as often as possible. Many of our guest stars have perished, or their characters have perished.
Does the show affect you like in real life? Because I think introvert. D&D has that way of making you, kind of forcing you to open up to people and to have these real experiences with them and be social maybe on a regular basis that you would not normally be social. 4 hours is a lot of time for me to spend with anyone other than my wife, let alone like on a weekly basis and get to know people. Like I normally
Everyone
I'd
knows
just
how
be,
Todd feels about them now.
no, but I'd rather be writing or reading my books but that is like a fun way
Yeah.
to like socialize and get
It
to know
is.
people.
Yeah, the 2 hours that we spend on weekly on Waffle Crew stuff is the highlight of my week.
Yeah.
Same for us. Like, absolutely the same for us. Like, we haven't had it for 2 weeks. We've been on a break, and we're all just like, what, you're like, what day is it? What day is it?
Right. Yeah.
But it's absolutely the highlight for us because it's hanging out with we're all friends. Like, it's just hanging out and just,
Yeah.
getting to storytell together, which is like, and laugh, honestly.
Right.
Like,
And the first time in 3 years, we finally all were in the same space
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had never been all together,
Yeah.
except
That was
before the
awesome.
stream of many eyes.
in Waterdeep too. It's ironic that
Yeah.
Yeah.
our characters started in Waterdeep and we
Yeah,
all ended up
yeah.
together in Waterdeep. It was so special.
It is special. It feels special.
It was
anyway.
special.
Yeah.
That's why at the end, like, they're breaking it down, and like we were just like sitting there, like, we don't want to leave. We don't want to leave. We're gonna
Don't
stay in
shatter the
Waterdeep.
illusion.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
got the drills out, and we're like, I guess we have to leave.
Yeah, they're gonna rent that space.
yeah. That was a set.
So emotionally, I think it's important for us, and that's why we want to continue. And we're still having a lot of fun with the characters and discovering secrets about the campaigns, and me throwing them into these unpredictable situations and having the past come back to haunt them. I don't think
Always.
we ever get tired of it.
No.
Do you ever worry about an ending? That
Do I
an
worry
ending
about an
might
ending?
one day come?
I don't worry about it, no,
Yeah.
because we'll figure out something else to do, or a way to craft it into something new.
And I don't mean the end of Dice Camera Action. I just mean
Oh, you mean like
Of
the
our
end
when the
of my
bodies start hitting the
existence?
floor. Yeah,
Do
yeah.
we
I'm
worry
not
about
talking the-
existential dread? I mean, yeah, anything could
Well,
happen,
Chris
Todd.
and I have a certain level
Anything
of
could
existential
happen.
dread.
Anything.
Yeah.
Am I more worried about the game ending? Yes, because that's less inevitable than existential dread.
Right. Yeah.
Where do you, if it was like 30 years in the future, where do you see Strix?
Where Strix is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Strix has her own agenda. Like, she has her own thoughts and feelings of what she wants to do, and she wants to have a bakery. Like, that's what she wants. She wants to. I mean, I don't know if she necessarily is 100% sure of that right now, But
I think it's kind of funny, and this may not be true of everybody, but I think it is, that all of the characters want basically a normal life.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like they
that's
want
the
out of
best.
this adventuring bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we just keep messing up so bad that we have to be. It's like every time someone comes up and is like, why should we help you? And they're like, well, you kind of have to now. And we're like,
Even when I look at my favorite fantasy, like Tolkien, like Aragorn, not in the movies, in the books, he so desperately wants to be king. He will tell everyone he meets, I'm Aragorn,
Yeah.
son of Arathorn, heir to the house of Elendil, like every speech. He's that guy at the party. And what I like about like Bilbo and characters like Frodo and everyone on the Dice Camera Action crew is they're like, no, we would like not to be in this adventure.
Yeah.
We would like to get out
Yeah.
of this somehow.
Like-
They adventure under protest.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's like and now they're home and now they don't know what to do. It's like they
Yeah.
don't even know what to do.
They've
because
been sort of cast around to all these far-flung, very dangerous places, eking out survival, forced to help people as
Mm-hmm.
they can, and now they don't have to do that anymore. And it's like
Oh, man.
just awkward.
But there's got to be like, someone's got to have to have a brother or a sister that no one knew about, or like
Please
a
no.
mom they've not been talking to.
please no.
They have no other family.
No,
that
not
I'm
for
awa-
Strix.
That
We
I'm
know.
aware of.
Oh, sure.
I think we've introduced all of the close kin. Possibly Evelyn might have somebody creeping around.
Wait, but we keep seeing multiple Dias. We don't know who that is. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's something else.
I love
oh,
it. Yeah,
great.
Yeah. You know,
That's something else, everyone. That's fine.
Yeah.
maybe it's
cool.
never been DF.
Maybe.
Maybe he's been a
I hate
doppelganger
this.
from
No,
day
I
one.
hate this. I'm so scared. I hate this.
Twist.
I hate this.
Our fan base is so good at sort of filling in the blanks.
Yeah.
And contriving new sort of bits of background, like coming up with little fanfic bits of things. And sometimes you look at those and go, oh, that's actually pretty good. That's kind of cool.
I like about the show.
I might steal it.
I feel like it's my table. Like there's something about how you guys interact and your chemistry. It feels like a regular D&D table,
Yeah.
and that makes it so utterly charming. And I also know you a lot better at it now, and I can see the absolute joy on your face. I can tell what
Just
you love doing.
radiating, yeah. Yeah. It's being in that position is home to me because even though there are people watching,
Yeah.
I can only really see the players.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just like being around a table and just telling our own story together, and that's very welcoming. It's very safe.
yeah, and our fans are so cool. Like it's like then we see the fan art and stuff, and that's part of that whole
Yeah.
like. So
Yeah.
it's like.
And
you
their,
get to-
their anxiety is so contagious too.
Right.
Because they'll start putting wee-woos in the chat and,
Yeah.
and like throwing things like they're scared. And it's just, it's so good. It's
Yeah.
the best.
And it's a very relaxing 2 hours for me. Not for them.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Chris is
Are
just
you like this? You're like an anxiety vampire.
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah.
There's been times when I'm just like stress sweating for like 2 hours, and Chris is like, "What is at home? It's so nice. Oh, hey, how's Milo doing? I don't know. Scott's here.
Oh my God. Deal.
God. Oh, I wonder what I can put in the next book that'll
I mean,
totally bone them.
I have the advantage of having thought about where the story is kind of going, and
Right.
I think about sort of future episodes, even if they don't happen, because often their actions will cause something that I thought was going to happen to not happen.
Yeah,
Or
but that's the fun, is like to
Yeah.
daydream.
Yeah.
I love
Exactly.
daydreaming about
Yeah.
my players
What
and
if
what might
situations,
happen.
yes.
Like what happened with Evelyn, her not being human. Like
Right.
that's a test,
That was
Yes.
awesome.
especially for her.
Yeah, we got a lot of, material
Oh,
out of,
totally.
out of that, which just kind of happened spontaneously. It wasn't predicted or planned. I didn't say back when I was planning season 2 that Evelyn would end up spending half the season as a construct and the entirety of season 3 as a construct.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, she needs to stop dying.
That's
That
good.
would always
That's a good
that
step.
helps.
That's a good step.
She
Yeah.
needs to stop dying.
Now that the characters have died, dying is so passé, you see.
There's so many worse things than
There-
death.
yeah. Yeah.
There are.
There are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to-
Dealing with life can be worse than death.
It's true. dying is an easy out for us, really.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's like a game mechanic I use when in my home games is fate worse than death.
Yeah.
The first time you die, it's something so much worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are also I think there are little things that have come up season after season that are kind of becoming trends now.
Yeah.
Like we usually have we're dragged back into Ravenloft for a couple episodes.
Oh, come
bit.
on, please don't say that.
It happened in season 2, it happened in season 3, maybe it'll happen in season 4.
No!
It's great because you get to see Barovia evolve.
And
Or
there's
get
been
worse.
some change. It's gotten worse, I think.
Something in the
everything else
Shadowfell
they
got
touch.
worse.
Like everything else they touch, it gets a little worse.
No, why?
But things like there's always the sort of off-kilter episode where we sort of break out of the common frame of the adventure and we do things like, hey, we're going to have a campfire chat episode. Or, hey, you're all animals
Yes.
this episode.
Okay, I know
love
you
that
guys
one.
don't have Dice Camera Action merch, but I need a straw doll
Plush.
official D&D
That would be
plush.
amazing.
That would be pretty
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Like the fangs and the little,
Yeah.
his little amulet and everything.
I just drew that while we were playing. Like
Right,
I just
yes.
drew it and then I was like,
I'm
this is
just-
cute. And then I was like, here
Just
it
a
is.
great idea off the top of my head.
Yeah.
You should.
So-
Yeah.
If
It'd be amazing.
we ever make an art book or something like that, we have to get your doodles and
Yes.
things
Oh my God. That'd be
all
awesome.
in the columns.
That'd be
or
so good.
On the pages. That'd be so much fun.
That would be awesome.
Strix's guide to working out.
Strix's guide to not leaving.
When we get the
your
Waffle
house.
Crew animated series.
Right, of course.
We'll talk about that.
You're getting closer and closer. Every intro. Give a
Every
little
intro,
bit.
yeah.
Working on the intros is always fun because you have to think and plan those out long before the season starts, of course. And how much of the story do we tip off in those is kind of a fun question to ask each time.
Even I don't know anything about the upcoming stories because they're a surprise to us. So like even our intro, when we first saw it, I was like, oh, there's Jarlaxle. I was
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I was like looking at everything like, who's that?
Yes.
You're pretty good at keeping them in the dark. I remember you were asking about the Divine Soul.
I know.
And I knew, and I couldn't tell you anything about that. Yeah.
Yes, that's fun.
Why did you choose Divine Soul, by the way? For you.
Well, I waited to choose my background because I didn't really feel like any of them really fit Strix that well. I was kind of just like, I'll just keep fireballing until I figure it out.
Yeah.
And when I read the Unearthed Arcana of the Divine Soul, I was like, this is perfect. This is very planescapey. It's
Yeah.
very interesting, and it tied into her whole family background sort of thing, where it's like she might have had some kind of like divine influence from her family, because I'm not sure about this, but Asmodeus was created into a god in 4th edition, so maybe it could have some kind of tie.
Yeah, divine doesn't mean good.
No, it doesn't. No, in fact, it actually
Yes.
has the option that like it could come from an evil,
Right, if
or
you're
good.
chaos, you have-
And if you're evil or good, you get different wings, or depending. I don't know what kind of wings Strix is going to get at level 14.
Oh, yeah.
You
that's
get
a really
wings.
interesting
Oh
question.
man.
What wings would she get?
Like I would expect
What wings
the
would she
bat
want?
wings.
I don't know.
But if she had regular like white wings, that would freak me
I don't
out.
think she would get white
no,
wings.
white.
Yeah.
Probably like crow wings
Yeah.
or something like that.
Oh,
Would it
yeah.
be crow wings or bat wings? I don't know.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. People need to remember, just because it's
Maybe
in the books
pigeon
doesn't mean you
wings?
don't
Pigeon
customize.
wings?
Pigeon wings would be amazing.
That would be great.
I don't know. I might leave that up to you because I can't decide.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's a great note. I think pigeon wings is like
Pigeon
a really
wings.
important message we wanted to send about Dice Camera Action. Thank you, Chris Perkins and Holly Conrad, for being on D&D Beyond. And yeah, that's it for this segment. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.